2. Testing, testing. Testing 1, 2. This is the day that Spirit has made for us to come together and celebrate our love for one another. And today we are going to start out, as we always do, by standing and singing, "God is good and all is well." Beyond compare, I feel God's loving presence everywhere. I am filled with joy profound in a world where many miracles abound. In the garden of my soul, I am happy and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. In the garden of my soul, I am happy and whole. I know that God is good and all is well.
Thank you. Good morning. Everybody have a seat, please. Welcome to Unity of On Air, where we live and express unconditional love and grow. It's on. Do I need to go louder? Do you need it here? All right. Take two. As I said, welcome to Unity of On Air, where we live and express unconditional love and grow together in peace and prosperity. My name is Edward Hayes, and I'm proud to be your service leader today. Whether this is your first time or your 100th time joining us, either in person or online, we are grateful for your presence and participation as we share this special time together. We have come together as part of love's divine purpose that calls each of us forth to celebrate connection we all share through the holy presence within and around all of us. In this spirit of community, we unfold in light and love all spiritual and religious gatherings, all people everywhere. We especially welcome any of you who are here for the first time. If you are here in the room for the first time, please raise your hand so we can provide a welcoming packet for you. No one's willing to take the plunge. Okay. And if you're with us online, be sure to visit our website at unitybonair.org to find all the wonderful activities that are going on here at Unity of Bonaire. Now, before I go any further, let's take a moment to acknowledge all the wonderful people who make this service possible this morning, from those who greet you at the front door and the doors of the sanctuary, to the volunteers at the bookstore, to Fellowship Coffee, and of course, the tech and the music teams. And if you would join me in giving them our blessing. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we see you doing amazing things. We see the Christ you are, and we see you doing amazing things. And now let me welcome a leader from our youth and family ministry, Melanie.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Just a reminder that Boo and Stew is coming up, and we're going to have an area for kids. So we're going to have a cakewalk, we're going to have a bake sale, we're going to have some face painting, and we're going to have some Halloween tattoos and that kind of thing, and games and crafts. So come on out. It's a fundraiser for the Montessori and for the youth and family ministry here. So we'd love to have y'all come out and join us on the 30th for that. And it's going to be from 1 to 4? I'll come up and say more. All right. Jody's going to come up and say more. All right. So can I have all my friends come up and join me up here on stage, and we'll go have some fun today. Here's my Lotus and my Sebastian. Over here, Sebastian. You can come this way. You can come. Thanks. Zoe. Oh. And who is this?
We bless you. We appreciate you.
And we behold the Christ you are, and we see you doing amazing things.
We are walking as the light, as the light, as the light. We are walking as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
Every week, each month, we focus on one area of the church specifically. And this week, we're going to be focusing on heart sharing. So I'm going to ask that Jane Gordon come forward and tell us about that.
Good morning. Reverend Patty wanted me to share some ways that unity principles have worked for me. And I'm a trustee. Jane Gordon is my name. I'm a trustee along with Rusty Rothrock and Tom Lane. Somebody asked me last week, what do trustees do? And officially what we do is sign contracts and bank documents and things like that, agreements, legal things. And then the rest is up to us. We can do whatever else we want to. So I've been attending Unity services since about 1979. So I should know a lot of Unity principles by now, but I'm still a student. I've learned a lot, but I'm still studying. And the thing that I love so much about Unity when I first came and still do is that we appreciate and bless all spiritual paths. And that means a lot to me. I grew up in Southern Baptist tradition, and after that explored many different faiths and denominations, and found that unity was right for me because I truly believe that truth is one and paths are many. So I give thanks for all the ways that unity truth works in my life, and especially I am thankful that I'm beginning to listen more to my inner callings or divine self. I wanted to quote from Emily Cady, who was a pioneer in Unity New Thought. She was a contemporary of the Fillmores, and her Lessons in Truth is a series of lectures or really magazine articles that she wrote for Unity magazine, and it's just filled with good stuff. She said, we talk to God, and that is prayer, and God talks to us, that is inspiration. And if we know that all of our thoughts are prayers, then we certainly are praying all the time. But how much do we really listen to get those divine ideas that are out there for us? I'm trying to do more listening, and maybe a little bit, not less praying, that's important too, but more listening, I would say. Did you ever hear that expression that says, God works in mysterious ways? That was one that I used to hear a lot when I was a kid, especially when things didn't go my way. God works in mysterious ways. And I think that expression really means that we didn't get the expected outcome, what we were looking for. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to remind you about a time, March of 2020, when we were going through well, we were just on our COVID-19 journey at that point. We didn't know how long it would last, but things closed down. Our church, our stores, our schools, we didn't know how long it would last. But with that closure and our church being closed too, we were, we had a lot of opportunities financially at that point because we rely not just on love offerings, but also on weddings and events and things like that. And so our board and finance team worked really hard to keep up with our expenses. So there were lots of cuts. I would say expenses were cut as much as we could, and staff took pay cuts voluntarily. We did all we could, and they did a miraculous job. So we know at Unity that within every circumstance there's a blessing, and we believe it and we affirm it. And so the blessing for me from COVID was that for a long time I wanted to see more families and more children in our church and wanted to find ways that we could serve our community even more. And so at one point, I had a divine inspiration. Early in the morning before thought could kick in, that's when the divine knows they can reach me or she can reach me. And at that point, I had a divine idea with children out of school and parents strapped to find ways to help their kids and still be able to do the jobs they have to do. I saw an opportunity there for us to offer our church as a place where families could bring their children. And in that regard, Harry Simmons came on to help me with that, and the board approved the plan. I was able to recruit a few volunteers, and Rusty Rothrock developed this beautiful website. And so you would think, since it was a divine idea, and I knew it was, that it would take off, right? But for some reason, it didn't. I don't understand the reason, and I don't really need to know the reason, because sometimes the divine gives us more than what we ask for. And so as a result of that beautiful website that Rusty had designed, this amazing woman, Amanda Bolton, she saw the website and she contacted me, and she had a dream of opening a Montessori school where we could nurture children, provide an inclusive environment for learning, and create a village of caring people. So it was a big dream, and it was just right for us. It was even more than what I could have dreamed on my own. And so this was the winter, maybe January or February of 2021, and she wanted to open this school September 7th. So that's only a few months to get things done. And she's an amazing person. She was able to get all the state licensure, the permits, the furniture, the teachers, everything. And then some of our wonderful men took walls down and got the classrooms ready, and believe it or not, she opened right on schedule, September the 7th, 2021. And so this is our second year, and she's done even more in the second year. Now she's opened an elementary classroom and hired more amazing teachers. So I would say that God does work in mysterious ways. And I would like to close with just another quote from Emily Cady, Lessons in Truth. Every right thought that we think, every unselfish word or action is bound by immutable laws to be fraught with good results. So law and immutable means it has to happen. If you have the right thoughts and the right deeds, you're going to get good results. But in our walk, we must rather seek to be the truth consciously, to be love, to be wisdom, to be life, and let the results take care of them. Thank you.
All right, please stand. It's time for us to do our congregational song.
It
and
is.
then
Just take just a minute. Just a minute.
Okay.
Because we have our music team today, obviously, Reverend Valorie, who we will see even more of later. Julie Fulcher Davis, who's obviously here, and I want to introduce Kim Fox, who's on piano. And just tell you a brief, she's gonna like this, a brief story. I've known Kim for quite a while. Kim was Claudia, most of you may know Claudia, the singer, my wife. You don't, there's the news. She was accompanist for Claudia, at least in her junior recital and through much of school. I have been married to Claudia for 33 years. This was before Claudia and I were married, so I've known.
All right, that's enough.
That's why I thought she'd like it. Okay.
All right, we're going to sing My Joy, a quote by Mother Teresa that inspired this song, that joy is the fire that burns within my heart. And you'll see in parentheses, it's called response, the part that you are to echo me in singing. So let's take it away. My joy is the fire of love in my heart. And I live to give and do my part. My joy is the fire of love in my heart. And I live to give and do my part. I can't keep it to myself. I wanna give it away. And all the joy I give comes back in many ways. My peace is the power of love in my heart. And I live to give and do my part. My peace is the power of love in my heart. And I live to give and do my part. I can't keep it to myself. I wanna give it away. And all the peace I give comes back in many ways. My life is the message of love in my heart. And I live to give and do my part. My life is the message of love in my heart. And I live to give and do my part. I can't keep it to myself. I wanna give it away. And all that I surrender comes back in many ways. My joy is the fire of love in my heart. And I live to give and do my part. Last time. My joy is the fire of love in my heart. And I live to give and do my part. All right, thank you.
seated, please. Now it's time for our transformational opportunities. As always, we have many things going on here at the church. Today, while we are enjoying fellowship coffee and refreshments, be sure to check out our plant sale offered by our great garden team. You might find a perfect plant waiting to come to your home, and you can take a little oxygen home with you as well. So please join them. Now we have a good news, bad news situation. The bad news is the Men of Unity have some burgers, garden burgers, and hot dogs left over. The good news is the Men of Unity are providing garden burgers and hot dogs later today on a love offering basis. So please enjoy that while you're looking for your plants. And we're grateful for that opportunity. Buy lots of plants. By the way, thank you. All right, thanks for that. I want to do just one thing. We all know how great the gardens are. It's an essential part of this. And many of you know the amount of work that goes to it. If there's anyone who has volunteered, we got one, for the garden team, would you stand up for a second? It takes a lot of work, and I'm sure they would appreciate more volunteers. Absolutely. During the week, we have several opportunities with online study groups via Zoom. Check the calendar on your website for the Abraham Study Group, A Course in Miracles, and of course, our Spiritual Sunday Practice Group starting at 9 a.m. every Sunday. In person, the Science of Mind Study Group meets on Tuesdays with Reverend Thelma starting at 1 p.m. in the fellowship hall. Wednesday's a full day. We have chair yoga at 11 a.m. with Barbie Nunley, midweek meditation at noon, followed by our weekly potluck luncheon, also in fellowship hall. Hey, if you want to come and tell us about what's going on with this.
I'm speaking on behalf of the seniors here in Unity. On the 27th, planning a trip to Virginia Museum. I'm a member, been a member for quite a few years, but I never get a chance to go over there, and I've created an excuse to go. So please enjoy me. And also, if you don't know Richmond, you need to go to the Hollywood Cemetery. All the big names in Richmond reside there. So you'll find that fascinating too. I'm trying to put together a full-blown tour. So please join us, 27th, 9:30 in the parking lot.
Let me just add, if you have never been to Hollywood Cemetery, you must go to Hollywood Cemetery. It's one of the great places in the city. It's a terrible thing to say your city, the greatest thing, it's the cemetery. But it is wonderful. Becky, is that right? Your name again? Becky, for a moment. It's terrible being up here in one regard because all of a sudden your mind just goes, wait a minute, was I talking? Becky is our photographer, as you may well know. And we'll start this weekend or the next couple of weekends, she's going to be asking to take pictures of folks that are going to go in our directory. So help her out. If she comes up to you and wants to take a picture, please just go, oh, yes, thank you. And if you see her and want to get her job done with, just go over and say, I'm ready for my picture. So help us with that. We have our Boo and Stew coming up in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to... And Jody's ready to tell us about it.
I'm glad the kids are not still in here because I didn't want to scare anyone. Friends, we have a great event coming up, our Boo and Stew. We have, as Melody said, a lot of the kids' activities and games and everything are going to be to help our Montessori school. And then we also have stew sales as well. Now, this seems like just a kid activity, but no, it's a whole congregation activity, and we need you. We need your help. This is what we need. We need people to provide trick-or-treating tables for the kids. And if you are willing to bring a table and candy and let the kids trick-or-treat, we need you to do that. There will be a prize for the most creative table. So get out your competition and creativity brains, and let's have some neat tables for the kids to trick-or-treat. If you cannot do that, but you can donate candy, I will create some place where you can start bringing it in. We need candy, candy, candy. And then also, they need cakes for the cake walk. So if you're willing to donate a cake, then come in and bring a cake. Finally, we have made these lovely flyers for Boo and Stu. If you have a color printer and can copy some and pass them out, please do so. I have 20 of them here today, and we could use your help spreading the word about Boo and Stu. Now, we will start at 1 o'clock, and we will have waves of stew, different people bringing stew, so we can have it in waves, and it is in takeout options also, so you can take some home. And we always end with the lovely Barbara Spicer, who is doing a big pot of stew as well. So that is what we are doing, so we can start right after church at 1 o'clock. So anyway, that's what we've got going on. Deb?
What date?
Oh, yes, it's October 30th. So right after church on October 30th, we are going to start at 1 o'clock because Melody needs to start the kids' games at that time. So if you have any questions, just ask me. I don't normally look like this.
And as always, you can keep up with all these opportunities and more at Unity Bon Air by visiting our website, subscribe to the weekly news, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And it's now time for the daily word. And the word for today is joy. Joy, it has been said, comes much more from wanting what we have than from having what we want. Reflecting on this thought, I embrace the simple joys that this day offers. I enjoy my morning coffee or tea, savoring its flavor and fragrance. Walking through my neighborhood, I greet friends, smile at people I haven't met yet, and enjoy the fresh air. I find satisfaction in taking care of my home, working at my job, or helping a friend. Even if I am not with them today, I feel joy as I think about my connection with people I care most about. I know joy whenever I look at the possibilities rather than focus on the problems. My greatest joy is my awareness that wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, God is always with me. Our scripture today comes from 16th Psalm, 11th verse. You show me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. In your right hand are the pleasures forevermore. Our affirmation today, I will say it once and then ask that you repeat it with me twice afterwards. I delight in simple joys. Together. I delight in simple joys. I delight in simple joys. This is the time we're going to introduce our guest speaker, who we've already heard from and who really doesn't need any introduction. Reverend Valorie K. Gunch is... I did that for a fact. Is currently serving as minister of Unity of Richmond and comes with us over 10 years of experience in ministry that includes church opportunities, serving as licensed Unity teacher, and 3 years as associate minister of adult and youth family education here at Unity of Bon Air. And we were blessed for all that time. She has been a guest speaker and musician for over 20 years and has been part of Unity since the late 1990s. She serves on the boards of the Eastern Region, Unity Urban Ministerial School Alumni Association, and is online instructor for the Urban School. Reverend Valorie is also currently serving on the board of Unity Heart-Mind. She is passionate about unity of justice for reconciliation and peacemaking in ministry and in the justice system. Her number one passion is assisting and awakening souls to their divinity and living a life of peace, wholeness, and prosperity. So now let's give once again a warm welcome to Reverend Valorie. I want to take a moment before we get into our opening prayer to highlight that we are starting the 40 days of Thanksgiving. That Reverend Patty may have talked about that last week. Please pick up this booklet and practice on your own. 40 days may put us right at Thanksgiving. I'm not sure if that, I'm assuming that's what's going on. So this is self-study, it's affirmations, and good works for you, so please consider taking this up. As I said, they will be in the hallway, and please participate. I'm not going to try to tell you a joke, because that just won't work. But let us start in prayer. So if everyone would, for a moment, just take a deep breath in. Settle yourself to this moment. And take a brief breath in, release it slowly as your minds get quiet and you focus on your heart. Imagine your heart glowing with its beautiful healing light. See it radiating outward. Our lights join with the light of each person, every one of us connected at Unity of Bon Air this morning, whether present here or in sanctuary at home. There is no separation in the light of Christ's love. We are the light of the world. We imagine and claim that our healing light and love stretches out to all people everywhere in our country and the world, to our family and friends, and to all the children everywhere. We picture it as it surrounds all the leaders of the world and opens each one of us up to greater awareness of their higher good. Now we bring into this field of healing love all those whose names are in our prayer box. We hold them each in light and peace and love, knowing that the power of Christ is within each of them in doing the mighty work. And if there are people or situations special to you or on your hearts today, you are invited to say their names silently or aloud as we enfold them in this healing light of love. Say them now if you wish. We affirm comfort, strength, and peace for each and every one, and it is done. In gratitude for this mighty healing, we claim, and it is taking place right now, and we affirm together 3 times, I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. Amen, and so it is. Now I think it's time for music.
In the morning when you rise, I bless the sun, I bless the skies, I bless your lips, I bless your eyes, my blessing goes with you. In the nighttime while you sleep, oh, I bless you as the watch I keep. As you lie in slumber deep, my blessing goes with you. This is my prayer for you, there for you, ever true. Each, every day for you, in everything you do. And when you come to me and hold me close to you, I bless you and you bless me too. When your weary heart is tired, if the world should leave you uninspired, when nothing more of love's desired, my blessing goes with you. When the storms of life are strong, when you're wounded, when you don't belong, if you no longer hear my song, my blessing goes with you. This is my prayer for you, there for you, ever true. Each, every day for you, in everything you do. And when you come to me and hold me close to you, I bless you, and you bless me too. I bless you, and you bless me too. Thank you. It really is a blessing to be here today, and I don't think you can have too much blessing, too much gratitude, or too much appreciation. I have no idea what Patty spoke with you last week about, except for what Ed indicated about the gratitude program. And if you want to have another little gratitude journal or a little something to write notes and read some quotes, I have a few here too, so you can pick those up if you like. As today is October 16th, it is 40 days exactly from Thanksgiving Day. So my message too has to do with the prospering power of blessing and gratitude. Now there's a lot to be said for the power of that and how much it blesses the world, it blesses you, and it blesses me. So it shouldn't be attributed to just one day of the year on Thanksgiving. And as you know, we practice in unity, being grateful and the prayerful appreciation. So I would like to share with you today some simple 3 practices, which will include mindful appreciation, praise, and blessing. And my intention is that we can all come away with maybe some new ways of practicing gratitude and ways that we can enhance our practice that's already existing. So why is this so important? Why is this practice so important? The short answer is that it changes us. It transforms us. As we practice, we align with that flow, the kingdom of heaven within that Jesus spoke about when he said, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's at hand when we align with Spirit, when we align with that divine nature. And to experience all the good that life has to offer us, all the good and all the grace that is present, which is all the blessings that we have that we don't do anything to earn nor need to prove our worthiness to receive. There are so many ways in which we can be aware and access those blessings and be a blessing. So those 3 practices we're going to go over in detail in a few moments, but let's start with a definition of gratitude, and you'll see those definitions in front of you behind me. The first one is my own definition that to live gratefully or be in a state of gratitude is to live in a state of appreciation. It's a vision or a sight that is seeing value and goodness in all things, in all circumstances, and in all situations. And Melody Beatty says this: gratitude turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and it creates a vision for tomorrow. And Eckhart Tolle says this: gratitude for the present moment and the fullness of life now is the true prosperity. Now, what is appreciation? Well, my definition is acting. It's the action of showing gratitude, of expressing gratitude. And Abraham Hicks says, appreciation is the purest vibration that exists in the planet today. Lynn Twist in The Soul of Money says, that which you appreciate appreciates. So the more we value and appreciate blessings and the grace in our lives, the more we see and experience more grace, more blessings. And we see and are receptive and open to opportunities that unfold for us. And Oprah Winfrey, she said this: be thankful for what you have, you'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, never have enough. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I know I have. The more we focus on what is missing in our lives, the more we see more of what is missing, and then we start feeling hopeless and helpless, and we start feeling depressed. And Jesus said in Matthew 6:21, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Why did he say that? When we put our attention on what we appreciate and value in thought, that's where our heart is and our capacity to love lies. And it is easier, and it is one thing to be grateful when things are going well, the sun is shining, and it is yet another, isn't it, when outer conditions aren't what we would prefer. When the Apostle Paul was imprisoned for teaching that Jesus was the Messiah, he wrote to the Thessalonians, and he said, I've learned one thing in life, and that is in all things be grateful. The Aramaic Bible in plain English says it this way: give thanks in everything, for this is the will of God in Yeshua, the Messiah, among you. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Yeshua is the Hebrew name for Jesus. And the Messiah, according to Revealing Word, our co-founder Charles Fillmore defines the Messiah as the visible manifestation of our divine identity, the spiritual nucleus of every person. So it isn't God who needs our gratitude, it's our human identity that needs that gratitude to align with our spiritual identity, that spiritual nucleus that we all are. And this is what happens when we resonate with the frequency of gratitude, that highest vibration on the planet, as Esther Hicks has said. Now, our typical way of expressing gratitude, and children learn, from a young age to focus our gratitude on things that are external, things that we can be grateful for that are the object of our gratitude. But as we mature in gratitude and we mature, then we don't need things to be grateful for. Eric Butterworth, Unity scholar and minister in the 1970s, he gave an essay on gratitude and thanksgiving, and he said, to be grateful means to be full of greatness. And to be thankful means to be full of thanks. And he also said the question to answer is not, what do I have to be grateful for? But what do I have to be grateful from? What do I have to be grateful from? If there's not an object outside of us to give us a feeling of gratefulness or thankfulness, then grateful living can be generated from within, and we don't need to have that outer object because we have that divine flow within us, and we have that consciousness of oneness. However, the problem is our mind isn't always in that state of gratitude. We learn how to take dominion over our thinking, our minds, and so we get off our spiritual center, and that's what a human brain does. But then we can recenter ourselves. I'm taking a class on the Yoga Sutras, and one of the ancient yogic teachings that was shared is a mindfulness practice that when we notice ourselves thinking something negative, to then turn it around and think of its opposite. Now that may sound familiar in Unity because that's how we work with our third principle, the power of our thinking and thoughts and feeling nature, is that we do have our free will. We can choose where to focus our thought, our minds, and we call them affirmations when we turn it around, right? So Mary Morrissey, she calls it a pattern interrupt. We interrupt the pattern of our thinking when it's focused on gloom and doom, what's missing in our lives, and we turn that pattern and choose something like changing the radio frequency or the television to a station you'd rather or love to watch rather than what you don't want. So the practice of embracing its opposite when we get off center is to bring our attention from the external back to the internal, immutable goodness and divinity within. That's what it does. Myrtle Fillmore said this, our Unity co-founder. She says, God does not need our gratitude. We need it because God is the power, the principle, and the law with which we create a life that we either consider blessed or fraught with misfortune. So let's begin with those three practices I said I would share with you. And the first practice is called mindful appreciation. The late Thich Nhat Hanh, Vietnamese monk, has a monastery in Plum Village in France. And at that monastery, and probably many other monasteries, Buddhist monasteries, they have a practice that when a bell rings, they stop and breathe, take a mindful moment, and appreciate just being a human, appreciate this incarnation, this life. Now, there are various ways that we can use this practice, like, have you thought, does your phone give you notifications? What if every time the phone gives you a notification, you stop and you take a mindful moment and a breath and appreciate your life or think of something to be grateful about? Center ourselves in that divine presence. Another practice that can be done is mindful, it would be a walking meditation where you have to slow. We walk so fast all the time, but to slow down, just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as you're going through these thank yous, like, thank you for these beautiful gardens. Thank you for the wonderful people who give a labor of love to tend to these gardens. Thank you for all of those who come and appreciate these gardens. Thank you for, and then certain people in your lives, certain lessons that you may be learning, to going deeper in your self-awareness, your spiritual practice. But just practice being grateful to, even just A walking meditation is a good mindful practice. Okay? So that's doing a mindful appreciation practice. Now let's look at the power of praise. William Arthur Ward said, feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and then not giving it. Can you imagine not, getting a present ready and then not giving it? So, to give praise is to express that feeling of gratitude. Praise means to sing, to commend, and to glorify. And in our revealing word, Charles Fillmore defines praise as the quality of mind that eulogizes the good, one of the avenues through which spirituality expresses. The purpose of praise is to awaken in ourselves a higher realization of the omnipresence and power of God. So with the power of our word in prayer, with the power of our voice in song, we increase whatever it is that we praise. Now, in the biblical sense, praise goes three ways. It's between God and person and God, and from person to person. So we can increase our praise quotient, show appreciation to others. It will not only lift you, but it will also make a difference to that person in their life. And then you become a blessing, and you become, yes, a blessing of prosperity, a blessing of love in the world. And, we probably don't give ourselves enough appreciation either at times, praising the good qualities in ourselves and looking at those instead of being self-critical all the time or self-depreciating. So, take that practice. Learn to praise yourself more. And I'm reminded, and I've shared this before, of a woman named Haley Bartholomew who has a website called 365 Grateful. And some years ago, and she gives a TED Talk on this, she was feeling depressed, and that depression had been extending and been really affecting her life. And at the time, she sought counsel with a spiritual counsel with a nun. And the nun invited her to practice appreciation, to practice gratitude. And out of her experience of doing that for herself, because she had been feeling like, my husband's not romantic, he's not, very romantic, and she kept seeing what he wasn't doing that was not romantic. And instead, in that time frame that she was practicing this gratitude, she noticed all the things that he was doing to show love and appreciation for her and for their family. She noticed the wonder of her little girl, who was a young little girl at the time, as she would see things for the first time. And so she started taking photographs, and it became a book and a website called 365 Grateful. 365grateful.com, and you can hear her tell her story on YouTube. So the power of gratitude and praise can turn our lives around, and that was just one wonderful example that I could remember was so influenced me when I heard it. Now our third practice is the practice of blessing. And what is blessing? One of its meanings is to confer prosperity upon. Confer prosperity upon. Same thing, it can go from ourselves, praise to spirit, from spirit to us, from person to person. And, I'm reminded of how, why do you think that praise and worship music is so moving and so powerful? It's because we are in that act of praising and blessing. Now, Jack Kornfield, in his book, The Art of Forgiveness, Loving Kindness and Peace, he tells a story. He said this: in the Babemba tribe of South Africa, when a person acts irresponsibly or unjustly, he is placed in the center of the village, alone and unfettered. All work ceases. Every man, woman, and child in the village gathers in a large circle around this accused individual. Then each person in the tribe speaks to the accused one at a time, each recalling the good things the person in the center of the circle has done in his lifetime. Every incident, every experience that can be recalled with any detail and accuracy is recounted. All his positive attributes, good deeds, strengths, and kindnesses are recited carefully and at length. This tribal ceremony often lasts for several days. And at the end, the tribal circle is broken, a joyous celebration takes place, and the person is symbolically and literally welcomed back into the tribe. What if this were our culture? Wouldn't it be tremendous? Then we would have to give up, we'd have to give up structures of how we've done things before that haven't always been effective. But this action is a practice of Ubuntu, which is how interconnected we all are. Ubuntu translated means I am because you are. I am because you are. Now, in this last week, they say you end up practicing what you preach. So I gave this lesson last week at Unity of Richmond, knowing I wasn't going to be there today. And then I had an experience of being, turning something around and blessing someone when I, might have wanted to complain. I had gone to if anybody has been to the pharmacies lately, you know probably what I'm talking about. But I had a prescription to pick up, and I had attempted several times to go there. Every time I went there, the drive-thru's closed. I'd go inside. There's a line. The only business in the store is the line at the pharmacy. And there were times when I stopped in there, I'm like, I don't have time. Just stand and wait, so I'll come back another time. And I went ahead and paid online for my prescription, because then they give you that. They text you, give you that option. I paid it. They sent me the text saying, your prescription will be ready for pickup. Use this code when you go in to pick up the prescription. So I went in to pick up the prescription, but I had accidentally deleted my phone of all of its texts when I was trying to get rid of some political solicitation stuff. And I was like, I don't have that QR code. I wonder what's going to happen. So I went. The drive-thru was closed. I went inside. There were maybe 2 people there in a line. And I waited, and I was like, okay, it's, I don't need to be in a hurry. I don't need to be impatient. I'll just be. And so I got to the front of the line, explained, I'm here to pick up the prescription that I paid for, and I don't have the QR code. And they go in there. Person goes into the thing. There's no prescription here for you. Really? I did receive a text that I had paid for it, and it was ready to be picked up. Well, I can't go into your system, so you'll have to go over there. So into a different line where there wasn't anybody there, because that register could go into my account, okay? So I went over and I sat, and I was a little, inside I was a little grumpy. I'm like, wow, okay. And then I was thinking, well, these people are all working shorthanded. Their company is not being very kind to them. They, and all they do all day is face, begruntled customers, right? So I sat there, and then she called me over and went over to the other register and opened it up, and no, it wasn't. Then she determined that the prescription had been put back on the shelf. And so I said, well, I do need it, so go ahead and put it through. I'll pay for it now, and I'll come back. Oh, we can have it ready for you in about 10 minutes. Okay, I'm thinking, yeah, okay, we'll see. And anyway, so then she called me, and I went up and paid for my prescription, and I said to her before I left, I said to myself, okay, this is my opportunity to practice what I've been preaching. I said, you have a very difficult job, and all of you do, and I bless you. And I walked out of the store. I don't know what the outcome of was that, but it was a choice point for me, and I didn't leave there having resentment and anger about the situation. I felt good when I left. I was tempted to curse and not bless, but I decided not to. So, there you go. Blessing. So let's do this right now. We're going to do a little practice of a meditation or a blessing. It's a prayer, a Buddhist prayer, and it's a different version than some that we have practiced before, but it's a beautiful one that I saw in Joan Boryasinko's book, The Seven Paths to God, and this was one of the prayers in there. And the prayer is, because we're blessing ourselves, we bless others, we bless the world. It's, may I be at peace, may my heart remain open. May I awaken to the light of my own true nature. May I be healed. May I be a source of healing for all beings. Is that up there? Yes. Yay. So let's say that together. May I be at peace. May my heart remain open. May I awaken to the light of my own true nature. May I be healed. May I be a source of healing for all beings. And now let's think of someone that we love and care about. And we'll do the second person blessing. May you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all beings. Now let's think of someone that gets a little irritating at times. Okay. May you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all beings. And now, as the collective, may we be at peace. May our hearts remain open. May we awaken to the light of our own true nature. May we be healed. May we be a source of healing for all beings. And now, in our unity affirmative language, I am at peace. We have that one? Yes. Yes, there it is. I am at peace. My heart remains open. I awaken to the light of my own true nature. I am healed, and I am a source of healing for all beings. Thank you. This is a wonderful practice of blessing, conferring blessing, prosperity on others. I have a Unity booklet. It's on Living Abundantly, Embrace Your Unlimited Good. And one of the students of the Urban Ministerial School that I graduated from wrote an article and practice about the practice of gratitude. And I have a quote by Lulu Logan, and she said, "Gratitude is the front door that, once opened, fully opened, changes everything. Everything, every person, and every experience is sharper, brighter, and more in focus. The blurry rush of every day is transformed into vibrant relief." Now, if any of you of a certain age have ever had cataracts removed from your eyes, then you may have noticed how much more vibrant and clear things are, how sharp everything is, and the colors. Because we didn't notice as our eyes gradually, the lens gradually blurred our vision and our sight. We didn't notice it until it was removed. Lulu also said this: everything we notice is another opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for continuous grace, unbounded love, and a peace that truly breaks all the barriers of human understanding. So in conclusion, gratitude does not need an object because we already are centered in a divine consciousness. We know what to be grateful from that consciousness of oneness, of being in the flow of spirit, in the flow of life, and expressing the goodness of blessing and praising. When we use these practices of mindful appreciation, of praise and blessing, then not only do you experience unlimited goodness, but you then also become a source of that goodness and a source of that blessing and prosperity for others. So this is how gratitude and blessing are a prospering power for us. So I close with a prayer in this booklet. It says this: with a heart overflowing, I bring a prayer of gratitude for the trees, the skin of the trees, the leaves of the trees, the roots of the trees, and the earth under the trees. I speak a prayer of gratitude for the birds of the air, the seeds and insects on which they dine, the water from which they quench their thirst. I whisper a prayer of gratitude for the elephant, the wolf, and the whale, and the lion and their cousins, our beloved dogs and cats. My prayer of gratitude is for the food that nourishes us and those who grow it, pick it, pack it, and truck it. I pray for the families of those who endeavor to feed their own families by doing this work for us. My prayer of gratitude is that this very food will manifest in the bellies of those who most need it: the elderly, the homeless, poverty-stricken, the refugees, the sick and injured, and all those under the umbrella of war. I lift up a prayer of gratitude for those who have no voice. My shout to the heavens is peace. Peace inside of me, radiating out across the globe with each and every breath I take. For all this and all that went unmentioned, I give thanks. I give thanks for the movement of spirit in and through all things. And with the deepest bow and utmost gratitude. Amen. So now we will prepare for a brief meditation. So let us just continue going within, centering on the breath. Just noticing your breath in and out. Noticing the sound of your breath as it moves in and out like ocean waves. Relaxing any tensions, any concerns. And now as we complete this meditation, we're going to do a self-blessing. So let these words, if you put your hands near toward your eyes, and let these words be your words. I bless my eyes that I may have clarity of vision. And now to your mouth, I bless my mouth that I may speak words of truth. And now your ears, I bless my ears that I may hear all that is spoken to me. Your heart. I bless my heart that I am filled with love. The area of your reproductive organs. I bless my reproductive organs that I may be in touch with my creative energies and the energies of the universe. And reaching toward your feet, I bless my feet that I may walk on my own true path. And now allow all of this loving and peaceful energy that this invokes for you just permeate all the levels of your being, body, mind, and spirit, as we go into the stillness. And we give thanks for this time of going within, knowing that we can take these mindful moments and opportunities at any time. And so we just give thanks. And as we come out of meditation, just take some deep breaths, wiggle your fingers, your toes. And so it is. Amen.
Let's take a moment to thank Reverend. And now is the time for our gifts, love offerings, and tithes. So as the ushers come forward, would you share with me our affirmation? Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the joy of giving and receiving.
As I walk through the storms of life, whatever they may be, I seek and find all the good. I pause and claim my blessings. Nothing can stop me, nothing stands in my way. I am free to live and give love as I receive each day. seeds of forgiveness in fields beyond wrong and right. I meet myself and others there, I see with love's pure light. The harvest of my heart is a blessing. I am free from chains of doubt and fear. Where love is, I am. Only love matters. Only love will do. Only love matters. In the fabric of our lives, it's the glue. Love matters. You matter. Only love, only love, only love matters. Only love, only love, only love matters. Your love, my love, our love matters. Only love matters. Only
And as we come forward, I think Reverend Valorie said that blessing is to confer prosperity upon. So let us confer prosperity on these gifts by saying we are so grateful for these gifts, remembering that the gift and the giver are one. We send these gifts forward to expand the love and joyous consciousness within this community, in Richmond, and around the world. And let us affirm together 3 times, I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. So it is, and amen. Could we have the chaplain stand, please? The chaplains are available for prayer celebration or need after service and at other times. So if you have a celebration or need, please seek them out, and they'll be more to provide their services. They're a wonderful part of our church community. Is this the time we say this service is now ended? And our ministry of love continues. You stand up, peace song, and prayer for protection.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, and we
I'm sorry, folks, just a moment. We forgot to do the prayer for protection. I'm not going to let this go by. So if you would, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you.